Hi there, my name is Deb, and I'm here to tell you about the wetlands. Before this, you would have already learned about land biomes such as the desert, the forest, and the grasslands. Then there were the water or aquatic biomes such as the oceans and the rivers. Now in between those are the wetland biomes, which are usually muddy land areas covered with shallow water. In the water cycle, we know that after precipitation occurs, water gets back into the ocean in two ways, as either groundwater or surface runoff. As groundwater, it seeps into the soil and flows underground through the cracks in rocks back towards the ocean. When you see people getting water from wells, they're actually getting groundwater, which surprisingly is usually cleaner than surface water. Surface runoff is when water flows on the land, like streams and rivers flowing towards the ocean. Now, a land area with lots of runoff is called a watershed, because it's shaped like a basin so that water can flow down from the edges to the middle. This area may also be called a drainage basin or catch basin. Each watershed is separated from adjacent watersheds by ridges, hills, or mountains, which are also known as ridgelines. In wetlands, the soil is saturated with water, at least some of the time, and the wetland soil usually muddy with little or no free oxygen in it. Here we are at the John Heinz Refuge, which is a wetland area near the Philadelphia International Airport. As a wetland, this area absorbs the force of strong winds and tides, and it slows down the flow of any fast-moving water from storms, floods, and tidal waves. So, if you live in the Philadelphia area, don't expect to see a tsunami for any long time, because these wetlands will absorb all that water before it could reach the city areas. So, wetlands are beneficial to us in many ways. Other ways are, wetlands control floods from heavy rain by offering the runoff to a place to slow down and get absorbed into the soil as it flows from the land to the ocean. Wetlands act as natural filters to control pollution. The plants slow the flow of water and allow heavier waste materials and particles to settle out. Smaller particles such as silt and mud are trapped and absorbed by plants in the mesh of their leaves, stems, and roots. Many wetlands also provide habitats for resident and migratory fish and wildlife because of their sheltered waters and large supply of nutrients. There are many different types of wetlands. Three of the most common wetlands are bogs, marshes, and swamps. A bog is a type of wetland found in the cold temperate boreal climates of the northern hemisphere. In bogs, moisture is provided entirely by precipitation. The world's largest wetlands are the bogs in Russia, and there are other large bogs in northern Europe, Canada, and Alaska. A marsh is a type of wetland usually consisting of grasses and low herbs in shallow water. The water of a marsh can be fresh or salty, depending on how close it is to an ocean. A swamp is dominated by trees rather than grass, and is generally deeper than a marsh. It usually floods off large land areas with shallow levels of fresh or salty water. The most famous swamps in America are the Everglades in Florida, the Okefenokee Swamp in Georgia, and the Great Dismal Swamp in Virginia and North Carolina. Unlike a lake with still water, swamps are generally characterized by slow-moving waters, often rich in nutrients from decaying vegetation. They are usually in low-lying areas close to a river or lake, and they may be surrounded by mountains. Marshes are like flooded grasslands, while swamps are like flooded forests. Now that you have learned about wetlands, let's answer the following review questions. Name 3 types of wetlands. What name is given to the water that fills the cracks and spaces in underground soil and rock layers? What name is given to the borders between two designated watersheds? What type of wetland is the Florida Everglades? Give 2 reasons why wetlands can provide habitats for many living things. How do wetlands help control flooding? As water moves slowly through a wetland, some waste materials settle out. Some wastes are absorbed by plants, while silt and mud are trapped by plant roots. In this way, what do wetlands act as? How is a lake different from a wetland?